This is the Jammer. It's the best rig in Invasion. Here's why. The Jammer excels in every category that a rig can perform in. The basic uses a rig can have are imposter stunning, utility, and actual kill power. The Jammer has all of the above, and it's much less a master of none and much more a master of all. The Jammer has immense utility in X-pop denial, camera removal, lockpicking, revives, and many more map-specific interactions. This makes it the rig with by far the most utility, making it almost always useful, if not mandatory. Let's first go over the weakest of the Jammer's utility, X-pop denial. If there's an X-pop in an important area, using the Jammer on them will drastically reduce their threat to you and your fellow reagents. This can take some time and can be tricky to decide when it's worth doing. I primarily recommend using it if there is a giant or a prime asset close to the shuttle at the end of a trial to reduce the possibility of a last-second tragedy occurring. The reason using a Jammer on an X-pop reduces its threat so drastically is because the way that the vomit mechanic works. Think of it as kind of like a poison effect, where immediately after triggering the Jammer, the X-pop will vomit once, and then 2 more times consecutively, totaling 3 total vomits, which can interrupt attacks. The vomits aren't that long on their own, but because of their ability to completely interrupt attacks, it actually ends up being way more effective at reducing the threat than you would think. The second, and possibly one of the strongest aspects of the Jammer, is camera denial. It's actually quite strong depending on the type of imposters you are playing against. Imposters live off of information. You can't kill someone you can't even find. If you plan on avoiding imposters altogether, consider breaking cameras. It's essentially free and will help you and your fellow reagents. At the very least, consider breaking important cameras. These are cameras that give imposters the most information or important information on objectives they wouldn't otherwise have. This could force imposters to go and physically be somewhere to gain information, wasting time and or stamina. Revives, what most people consider to be the crown jewel of the Jammer. The Jammer comes packed with 2 player revives, one for yourself and one for a teammate. This is crazy strong and I don't think it requires much explanation. The ability to bring yourself and someone else back from death can save games entirely and most likely will. The Jammer can single-handedly make impossible situations simple. Be aware that if you have the Jammer and you die, you have to use your one-time revive. The game doesn't allow you to be brought back by any other means, no matter what. And you can't wait forever. The game will automatically bring you back from death after 30 seconds, so you need to be prepared when that does happen. Most often, if an imposter knows you have Jammer, it will sit and wait on your body for the stab. So, it's worth considering if you have teammates that are going to be able to help. If not, try to keep at least a bottle or a brick on you to survive the stab after you revive to have a fighting chance. When you are dead on the ground, you still have audio and can hear when an imposter prepares to stab. It's important to note that the sound cue plays when it is ready, not when they begin the charge. This will let you inform your team of what is going on around you. If there's an insertion gate nearby, you'll be able to hear if an imposter leaves too, giving you a good idea of when you are safe to revive. If imposters continue to camp your body and you have no throwable item, call over a teammate to kick the imposter when you use your revive so you can get away alive without wasting your revive. That's a lot of vive and ive. It's pretty funny. Lockpicking is an incredibly strong and often overlooked aspect of Jammer. Being able to guarantee full heals, rig recharges, and even bandages is crazy strong. The Jammer is able to give higher cooldown rigs more opportunities to use their ability, and keep players healthy to take on imposters directly. There's really not much else to say, other than lockpicking high value doors to open escape routes and shorten objective times. Just keep feeding your reagents heals and recharges, and you'll feel the difference it makes. The Jammer's ability to stun imposters is very unique in its strengths. Instead of being one big hit with a very long animation, like the king of all one-trick stun, or it's much more interesting and cool brother, Blind, Jammer has two separate staggers, one being the animation that plays as soon as an imposter is hit with Jammer, and another 5 seconds later when they vomit. The first is quite short but can interrupt many imposter interactions, like stabs, down animations, executions, and when they grab a reagent from a hiding spot. This is very interesting, because although the initial stagger doesn't do damage itself, if you interrupt an imposter doing any of those actions, it is treated as a kick, doing a full bar of damage. The nature of having two separate animations makes it able to interrupt two attacks, while the vomit animation is just long enough to guarantee another Jammer to poison them again, doing another 2 staggers. This is where things start to get weird. On top of its ability to stack on top of itself, one after another, it actually gets much worse. Before I continue, I have to clarify that this is absolutely an exploit. Do not abuse this. I do not condone the usage of exploits in this game mode, and I only mention it in this video in hopes that it will get patched after bringing it to light. If another poison effect is triggered, during the vomit animation, the imposter will instantly vomit again, taking double damage with 0 counterplay. Red Barrels, I hope this gets fixed soon, or at least allow the damage reduction mechanic to apply to the vomit, as this feels really cheesy and should really be patched ASAP. Moving on from this, Jammer goes through transparent objects and has quite a lot of range. If you find yourself on the other side of a window, you can use your Jammer right through it, letting you pull off some very unexpected plays that would otherwise be impossible, even with a bit of distance. The main strength of Jammer is how unique it really is. Every match is an opportunity to test your knowledge against the imposters and to catch them off guard. Learn your Jammer, get used to its limits and uses, and you will be rewarded. Before I get into the unmatched killing power of the Jammer, I need to give some thanks. Everything up to this point is stuff that you can find out yourself by just using the Jammer a single time. However, I have to give credit to the 2 people who showed me just how incredibly strong Jammer can be. Nerb, who initially got me to use the rig and introduced me to what me and others now call the Nerb tech. And Ducky, who helped me learn the intricacies of Jammer and how we can push it to its absolute limit. First, we need to address the elephant in the room. Why not run stun? I mean, it does the same damage as Jammer, right? And you can throw it really far, and it staggers them for longer, so clearly it's better, right? You are wrong. The Jammer outclasses stun dramatically, not just in power, but in style points. Jammer is the combo rig. It's a Swiss Army knife for any situation and converts the whole trial into an imposter's worst nightmare. Best of all, you can use it 3 times as often, meaning that you're stacking up a full bar of damage every 60 seconds compared to Stun's embarrassing, pitiful, single bar every 3 minutes. Just walk into the knife at that point. Stun is good at one thing and one thing only and still gets outclassed. The only time you will end up wishing you had Stun over Jammer, or even Blind, is if you've made a grave error and are about to be punished for it. Stun is a crutch for bad players to lean on when they make a massive blunder. Jammer is the Chad thinking man's rig. Why run and hide from people trying to kill you when you can just kill them first and faster? So why exactly is Jammer so much better at killing imposters? It only does 1 bar, just like Stun, right? Assuming you have rig recharges, Stun should be just as good. Also somehow wrong. Jammer Vomit doesn't trigger and isn't affected by any damage resistance mechanics, allowing you to absolutely obliterate imposter health with Chain Vomit, Bricks, and the absolute king of damage, Traps. Jammer isn't insane for all the reasons I've listed above. The traps in a trial environment are all set up to disrupt you as the reagent. Doors, bombs, electric traps, nausea traps, tripwires, even psychosis mines. Jammer can rewire all traps in the game, essentially converting the map into your very own playground. The Jammer's short cooldown and limitless trap potential make it so you can effectively store damage on the map, meaning that while technically you can only get 1 bar every 60 seconds, you can cache that damage in a trap and save it for later, making Jammer the rig with by far the highest burst damage potential, letting you blitz down imposter health faster than they will likely be ready for. Its ability to store damage around the map lets it massively outpace stun and blind as far as damage. Not to mention, Red Barrels didn't apply any damage resistance to Jammer at all. This is about as much as I can say without going into too much depth, but I definitely owe it to you all to bring up the easiest setup to pull off in the game, the Nerp Tech. Find a door trap, rewire it, and then wait for an imposter. When one finds you, run to the door with them behind you, then slam the door on them. That's it. 99% of the time, they will open the door and eat a full bar of health. It's so simple, but so unbelievably effective. This is the perfect setup now, since it opens all the combo options that Jammer has. If you are off cooldown, you can start to poison them as they remove the spike from their chest, getting another bar with the vomit, where you can then hit them with a brick or another throwable item. Even if you have nothing at all, the door trap leaves them stuck longer than any other stun, meaning you can go basically anywhere for free. Okay, I really need to end this video before I get too deep, because man, this rig is deep. The Jammer is the iceberg rig. It has so many basic utilities and uses that it can easily overshadow just how many options it has. Which is why I'm going to be making many more advanced guides. There is simply too much for one video, and I have to make sure I get this right. In the meantime, equip Jammer and trap some imposters. This has been Citrus Man. Thank you for your time, enjoy your therapy, and I'll see you in the sleep room.